a few months back, I was asked to look at the Ramsey Police Department, and basically what I was doing was just a preliminary to see how the police were operating and see if anything really stuck out, if there are any patterns, while I would read police reports, investigation reports, or view videos. So I had requested some videos from the chief of police, and we have some rapport going, and we're working together while he's providing me public information. And he asked that I drop off some VHS tapes because the police department's still using that old format. So on February 8th of this year, I dropped off some blank videotapes to the police department at about 9 o'clock, and shortly thereafter I was stopped by one of their officers. I had just left the police station parking lot, and a few blocks later I was pulled over by an officer who had just stopped another motorist and then turned around and started to follow me. I was asked to exit the vehicle, and I knew the reason would have had to do with field sobriety test. It was about 25 degrees at night, and as the video clearly shows, it was very cold out. I was shaking. It was difficult for me to perform the test. The officer called for backup, and ultimately there were 5 police officers on the scene of this motor vehicle stop. And what was really an eye-opener for me was the methodology that the police officer, the primary officer, used in conducting his field sobriety tests. Because he wasn't truly conducting them in a manner that he would want me to correctly complete them, or he wasn't conducting himself properly, insofar as he had several times asked me to look at the tip of his pen, and he held it up in the dark, and I couldn't see it, and at the same time he put his flashlight in my eyes, so I wouldn't be able to see anything. Luckily, with my years of experience in dealing with police officers and misconduct, and dealing with videotaped incidents of police conduct, I verbalized a lot of the encounter into an audio recording. I had my own audio and video recording of the stop, while I was aware that the officer supposedly was videotaping himself. He at one point pointed to his microphone and said that he was recording the stop. He indicated that his backup officer was also recording the stop. Yet once the material was requested from the police department, I received one videotape with no audio. So out of the 5 officers, only one of them was videotaping, and even on his video, there was no audio of it. Luckily, I had my own to support what had taken place. Once I was done with the field sobriety test, I was allowed to leave. The officer then became a little more courteous, a little more professional, in comparison to the way he had conducted himself throughout the stop. And basically what he told me after handing me back my paperwork was that the reason why he gave me a hard time was because I had given him a hard time in my responses by not answering his questions as to where I was coming from or where I was going. So I found this very offensive. The citizens of Ramsey, the people that have driven through Ramsey or have been to Ramsey, have complained about officer demeanor, and the officers generally are not held accountable. So in the future, if this isn't addressed now based on these videos, you can expect that the same course of action is going to take place, with officers not acting appropriately and not being held accountable.
Do you have a license, registration, insurance card for me?
Sure. Could I ask why I was stopped, officer?
As soon as you give me your paperwork.
Sure.
I'm just trying to figure out where you're going. You seem to be driving in circles. Where are you going? I mean, you're driving around in circles.
I'm not driving in circles. I'm just driving about town.
Okay. What are you doing up here?
I'm sorry?
What are you doing up here?
Driving.
Why are you driving up in here if you're living in West New York?
It's free country.
I understand that, but what are you doing in this area? Okay. Where are you coming from?
Again.
Where was your last location? How much have you had to drink tonight?
Get the light out of my eyes, please.
How much alcohol have you had to drink tonight?
I haven't had any alcohol to
Nothing?
drink. Nothing.
Okay. Step out of the car.
For what?
Because I asked you to step out of the car, so step out of the car.
Are you going to tell me why you pulled me over? You said when I gave you my paperwork, you'd be able to tell me why I would stop.
I told you why, because you're driving around in circles, you're driving while the...
Is that against the law, officer?
No, but it's very suspicious. Why can't I go in your car? I asked you where you're coming from. Where are you coming from? Anything in your pockets or anything like that?
Let me ask you something. Your partner over here, who's here helping you,
right,
and not paying any attention over there.
Right. Come over here.
I'd rather be right here on the camera.
Stand right there. So you said you've had nothing to drink tonight, right?
That's what I told you, right, officer?
Right. Look up. See the tip of my pen?
No, I can't because the light is in my eyes.
You're going to move it back and forth. You're going to follow with your eyes and your eyes only. Do you understand?
Can you get the light out of my eyes?
No.
I can't see the tip of your pen then.
Look up. It's right here.
Can't. Now you just put the light back in my eyes, officer, and you have your back in front of the camera.
Do you stand straight up? Okay, do not move your head.
I'm not.
Don't move your head.
I didn't move it once, officer. The camera's going to show that.
Why don't you just be quiet? Why don't you quit complaining? Stand there. Left foot right where it is. Step over here.
Move over.